I haven't had an opportunity to walk around and meet all of the singers. So I'm Blair Boone-Migura. I'm going to take my mask off just so you're aware, and our guest artists are going to work without their mask. Our pianist is going to play without it, and obviously the singers. But if the rest of us could keep them on, that would be fantastic. We just want to keep everybody healthy. We actually had already a singer who was supposed to participate this morning drop out due to COVID. So let's just do what we can to keep each other safe, okay? So I'm actually going to turn off my phone now, and I ask you to do the same if you haven't. I understand, I think they're important, so if you need to keep it just on maybe on silence, you have to glance at it. But again, I'm Blair Boone-Migura, the founder of the Arts and Preservation Society, and I'm delighted to welcome you here this morning. Our singers, I'm excited to hear you sing this repertoire, and many of you will be with us the rest of the week as we launch off into this Art Song Festival, which has been done here at Manhattan School of Music for the past several years, with the exception of, obviously, throughout COVID. So we are so excited to be back for our first live masterclass. They've previously been done the past 2 years virtually, which was an amazing gift for all of us, but I think we can also agree that it's getting a little taxing towards the end, and I think it's going to be really nice for our guest artists to be able to work with singers, for our pianists to be in frame and not like recorded, and for you to be able to really hear singers live. That's one of the most beautiful aspects sometimes of song singing, is the intimacy. So with that, I will welcome you, the singers, any of the audience that we have, the public, and obviously our amazing pianist, Eric Sedgwick. So glad to have him back. I'm sad because we only get him one day, so if you came today, you're in for a treat to have him supporting the singers. Or if you come later this afternoon for the masterclass, art song, vocal technique and song, taught by the wonderful Andrea. But this morning, Spanish language song, Latin American art song, that's going to be taught by two titans in the field. Dr. Maya, it says on the program Maya Hoover, but it's actually Maya SYPERT because we must congratulate her on her recent wedding. What an incredible guy. So Maya thought, I cannot believe our template didn't know instinctively to catch that. And so I apologize. And of course, and she is the author of an indispensable resource, a guide to Latin American song. Correct me if I'm getting the title wrong.
I believe it's a guide to Latin American art song as something.
Yes, yeah, it's always the after that. I'm like, yeah. I suck at song. Right. Can barely remember my own birthday, so yes, but it is an indispensable, wonderful resource. If you're a singer, it's something you should have. If this is a field of interest of yours, you definitely want to check it out. And Dr. SYPERT is on faculty at the University of Hawaii. Well, I have the pleasure of being an adjunct faculty member, but she is the associate chair of the voice department, and she is an incredible mezzo-soprano. She knows this music like the back of her hand. She's been working at it for a long time, which I know you can't tell because she's so beautifully young, but longer than you would probably imagine. And this has been her collaborative partner for the same amount of years. José Meléndez, who is a faculty pianist and vocal coach at ABA in Philadelphia. And he is an incredible pianist who, one of the luminaries of song, Dalton Baldwin, counts him as one of his most talented proteges. So with that, I give you these two incredible artists, and enjoy the morning.
Good morning, everyone. I didn't really prepare any kind of introduction, so I just wanted to say welcome. I'm really happy to be here. Jose and I, this is one of our favorite things to do, is to work with people and help them just share what we know and what our experience is. I do want to say I in no way consider myself to be an authority or expert on this repertoire. I think I'm just the person that had the patience to gather it all together and put it in one place. So I'm so thrilled that we can pool our resources and be here to help elevate everything that we do. And I'm thrilled that we have a duo here that's wonderful, and thrilled to have Eric here. So thank you, Blair, for having us at the festival. So I'll let Jose give any intro if you'd like to add anything.
Said it all. Let's sing, and then we'll go little by little. The more time we spend singing, the more we can share with you what we have done, what we know, and I think at the end that's what it's all about. I mean, we take everything that we can gather, but when we stand up here and deliver, that's what really, it's what people will take home with. And so let's do that. Let's make music. We've been waiting to do this for a long time. Who's first?
Let's see.
Chelsea.
So first up, Chelsea.
Yes, of course.
I have copies of music.
We have it. Look at things in technology. We're just at the
Oh,
push
you
of a
have
button.
it too. Do you want this? Yeah.
Sure. My juice here.
Yeah. And you can, okay, hope that helps. Hi, my name is Chelsea Lorraine, and I'll be singing Del Cabello más Sutil by Fernando Obradors.
Okay, great. Just a couple little things at the onset. What's your comfort level with Spanish?
Medium.
Medium.
I took a lot of it in school, but
Okay, yeah, it was very good. Okay, I would say, and you can comment on this, sometimes the vowels need to be just a touch more closed,
Yeah.
just because to my ear, they start sounding a little dispersed.
yeah.
Accent wise. But we can get into that as we go.
Okay.
Let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
When you start Del Cabello más Sutil, you use everything you have,
Okay.
words wise, to create the line.
Yeah.
Not all the way around.
Okay.
I feel that you're using Del Cabello más Sutil, and then you keeping that in mind, the legato, but then the words are sort of taking a third down the list. Do it all the way around.
Okay.
Del Cabello más Sutil, to create the legato.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try. Really sing that first note.
Okay.
Don't think about the downbeat.
Okay.
Make that pickup note a downbeat.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
As opposed to Del Cabello. Almost that there's no downbeat. But I want a note to really be in the room before you move on to the next one.
Okay.
That sounds good? Okay. Good, much better. Are you by all means worried about catching up with Eric?
A little bit, but
Don't,
just okay, right?
don't. I always tell singers when they sing in recits in opera, they go, I don't know, Susana no bien, so no. Don't worry about that. The orchestra will take care of themselves because what happens is when you stop to acknowledge something that is happening underneath you, you lose your thoughts. And you don't want that. So he's just gonna go, Blair. I can do this. See, he's there. He's there.
Right.
Don't worry about him.
Okay.
Don't worry about him. He'll take care of himself. What we need to hear is what you're doing with this words. It's so short. Usually people at the end of and he goes to the beginning. So the people sometimes sing the song twice to make it a little. So that's an option if you ever want to do that. But don't worry about it.
Okay.
Do it again.
Okay.
I'm gonna finish.
Yeah.
Para, flip that R.
Okay.
Every R that you have between two vowels, just flip.
Flip it. Okay.
Para, and it takes a lot more air when you do that.
Yeah.
Para traerte a mi lado, and hand it out to him.
Okay.
Okay, how's that feel?
Good.
Yeah. Good.
One more time. I really want that first note
See more.
to vibrate. It doesn't have to have a lot more sound. It has to have a lot more breath in it.
Okay.
That you're not going that preparation cushion that you give the note before you even release the sound, it has to be in the room. Otherwise, it's because it's low and sometimes nerves. Take the time to really deliver and give a little bit more spin to it. Okay. What it means is it's just a little bit more tone to it. It's like a violin is going, and then the sound comes out.
Okay.
Just do that. We just have one now.
Okay.
And then we'll go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spin. So that means elongate your vowel so you can double the consonant. Right. So do you have a plan for that phrase? Is there something that you want to do? And I don't know. I feel that I hear it.
Like
I don't know. I see it in your face.
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Can you try? Just give me
Yes.
okay. Just go for it. There's no right or wrong.
Okay.
Especially with this music. There's no right or wrong. The unknown about this repertoire. It's in the culture. It's in the food, it's in the clothing, it's in the architectures, it's in the living. There's a lot that is not, it's hidden on the page, and the best way that you can access to all of that is by really dig deep into the text, into the words, to create the magic, to create the legato. You know how many times we hear, connect your vowels, everything's your vowels, but there is more than vowels in legato. The consonants, for me, is what really creates the legato. Otherwise, we just lose what people came here hear, to get from you, which is, you know, your story, the storyteller, and never forget, the rest is going to tag along.
Yeah.
You will be able to, it would actually make the other stuff a lot easier because you're not thinking about it. You just really sticking with your story.
Almost always, but I'm feeling okay right now.
That's a natural thing, and I'm just
Yeah.
I've been reading a book that a friend, I mentioned it to Blair last night, and I shared it with Maya. We all have that anxiety, if you want to call it, sometimes when we're about to perform. And for me personally, the reason, it was a friend of mine who plays for Canadian brass, and he was sharing with me, I'm sure with all of you, said, Jose, I just played the worst performance of my life. And I said, I don't really believe that, but I think it comes from it doesn't get easier because the expectations are higher. The better you do, the more people will expect from you. And with this art, with everything we do as musicians, as pianists, it comes with a huge amount of responsibility, and we want to deliver. So what I'm getting from this book is called The Confident Mind. And it's all about performance, and it's all about how it talks a lot about sports and people, but it also talks about musicians and how delivered in the nervous system. And if you think of, instead of I'm nervous, think about I'm excited. Because the reason you get nervous is because you're about to do something that is so important to you.
Yeah.
And you want to do well, you want to deliver. So you're like, oh, nervous. No, you're nervous because you're excited about what you're about to do and to share with everybody else. So I would recommend just read it, because even it's just an amazing, and it's an incredible book. But also it will not help you in a sense of like, oh, it's just I'm gonna get fixed, but it's just gonna give you ways for you to channel anything that you do when you're in front of the audience, and how to compartmentalize things so you can be free.
Yeah.
And until it works, I just played 2 major performances, and I was like, I've never been happier with anything that I have done. Like, it was, I have to say, it was almost there. I was just could not wait to walk on that stage. I played, and it just felt so like, be honest, how was it? And I said, I don't know, because I don't remember. I was so into what I was doing. It's one of those performances where I'm sure you can relate, Eric. Like, I don't remember. It was it felt so comfortable that I just couldn't, you know, how sometimes we remember every single thing we do. Probably we were not in the moment 100%. So I'm just sharing with you something. So how you feel now?
Good.
Right?
Yeah.
When you go to Chiquilla quisiera, so just go up and over the rainbow and see the end of it. Don't get to the top of it and sort of back out.
Okay.
Come in to that phrase. Para besarte la boca. Para besarte la boca. Don't lose the opportunity. Now, if you do this twice, the second time around, hold it. Para besarte la boca. If you do it twice, but if you're going to do it not once, hold it. Okay. Do something with that. Do something with the words, but don't do it from the musical point of view. Do it from your words. Okay. Just think of both, your intellectual side and your artistic side, and combine them together. Don't go choose one or the other. Okay. Una alcana, second verse. That was really beautiful, but except for the double ends. Yeah. But I love that first note. Okay. That was actually the best. Was that a C-sharp? Mm-hmm. That was the beginning of this song should be the same way, but that's it. You got it. You got it. Wonderful. See, you're much more relaxed. is what I want you to think of now. When you go, una alcada en tu cara. See how you breathe in on your onset? Finish your phrases, finish your thoughts. You're not going to be late. En tu casa, chiqui, make that part of, don't change the rhythm of your breath, because that catching up breath is just going to cost you your first note on the next phrase.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes.
Take your time.
Okay.
That's the beauty of this. It's not, you don't have a conductor in front of you. You don't have to get yourself into that. It's great. Para besarte en la boca, right?
Okay.
Para besarte en la boca.
I love it.
But then
Okay.
don't re-articulate the E vowel, but really think of it. Para besarte en la boca. And if you really re-articulate it in your brain, it was going to give us the right amount of space that we need.
Okay.
Okay? Dale. Para. It's because you have an extra syllable in there, and now you can get rid of it.
I know. It still might be stuck.
That's okay.
No, it'll come
Sometimes getting rid of bad habits is worse than learning a new piece. Para besarte en la boca. Just hang on to the last syllable of besarte.
Okay.
You're not going to add another syllable, promise.
Okay.
Para. Sight. Hey!
Great. I always love to try some things with the words and the
Yeah.
colors. Love it. Careful with fuera, quisiera, all those evals said, we tend to over open. We did this in Italian too, and for myself as an Italian speaker, I'm like, well, I really learned that was an open eval. I mean, of course, it changes depending on where you go, but it needs a bit of a higher position because otherwise it does tend to sound too right? Same in Spanish sometimes. And sometimes it's a diction thing and sometimes it's a vocal thing. So just be careful that your evals don't lose that height. And then just you can think about it as being more closer. You can think about it as being a bit higher, either way, so that they don't just become an American in there, because the rest of it is quite good. So when you, just in the very initial phrase, I would love to kind of work on some sensory things with you, okay? So when you sing your opening phrase, if you can use your consonants as much as you use your vowels to really paint this picture. I mean, you are well prepared. You are a beautiful singer. You obviously know what you're saying. What are you saying in the first phrase? What
Of
are you
the
saying?
hair,
Yeah.
you're the most delicate hair, or
Okay.
from the most delicate,
Okay.
subtle.
Why Sutil, and what does that make this person or you feel? What, in other words, what's underneath that word for you?
Gentle and like perfect in a way.
I love this.
Okay.
I love this so much. So when you say that opening phrase, can you deliver all of that story, all of those layers by the way that you taste the consonants?
Okay.
Can you start it?
Yeah.
Okay, gorgeous. Because if you have a really clear hear something underneath there. And honestly, if it's inappropriate to share, even better,
Okay.
right? Just so that it really has significance, visceral significance to you,
Yeah.
then we get colors and we get, wow, a different level of beauty than just kind of a beautiful tone, which that's not what you were doing before. It had meaning in it as well. But I love, he can vouch for this, I love to take risks with
Okay.
words
Oh, yeah.
and do incorrect things.
Right.
Incorrect things.
Mm.
Yeah. So I would taste the S, and that's Sutil really recall a specific scenario for you,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes when I'm working in conservative settings or with younger students, and they don't have like a really sensual, it's not appropriate to discuss a really sensual thing. I might discuss a kitten or something. You, on the other hand, I think can probably handle
Yeah.
something more true. Okay. Again, you can keep it on the inside,
Yeah.
but I want you to think just to yourself of a moment that you touch somebody who is completely perfect for you. And the gentleness. My soul. One of my souls. Who is completely, have you ever known somebody who's just completely perfect for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
What does it make you feel like to know that you don't ever have to explain yourself? And that is very true for this one for me.
You're on top of the world, right?
Yeah, it's
just-
comfortable, it's safe for
Yeah, it's
just
safe.
happy all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And when that is the person that you also love, it's like, right?
Yeah.
Silent
Yes.
scream worthy. As you build on the phrase and you start talking about Cabello and cadena and all of these images that you're building on, be very specific with what's in here.
Okay.
So take a second and just put yourself in a place, whatever person that is for you, and let's do this whole first verse. Okay, be really specific with what you think.
Before you do what the word tienes,
Mhm.
I don't want you to create a new space for the e vowel.
Okay.
Just drop your tongue as soon as you hit
Okay.
that e vowel to the e,
Yeah.
but I had to hear it.
Yeah.
It's not the tienes, and sort of they're so mashed up together.
Okay.
Tienes, just with the e comes out of the e, just drop that tongue to see if I can get a clear e
Okay.
vowel. But
Mhm.
other than that, it's beautiful.
Okay, it's so much more,
Yeah.
right? When you say a mi lado, I mean, just a
Yeah.
little bit. I'm gonna feel a little bit uncomfortable watching these things.
Okay.
Like maybe this is a moment you're having for yourself and I shouldn't be here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially that phrase, right? Like, oh, what would she do if they were here? Should we leave? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm.
Okay. Can you just do para traerte? No?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. You need to. There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's hard, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Take it out. Yeah, go back and
Okay,
add
sorry.
something. So that's good. Do from He de hacer una cadena. love it. I love it. I love it. When you say chiquilla, who are you talking to?
Like a sweet love, like a love. Like a
Yeah,
love.
your person, right?
Yeah.
All right. Can you load that up a little more?
Yeah.
Taste that L glide, right? We're doing a Spanish way of pronouncing the double L. It's softer. You can taste. You can also use the L of lado a little bit, right?
Okay.
Like articulators are all a part of it, right?
Yeah.
Taste those words a little more. When you say quisiera ser, I think ser really needs to be in a higher position.
Okay.
Yeah? Really close the vowel a little bit more because it's becoming dispersed and a little hard to understand. And it's also losing the this of the line for me. Can you try beginning of that verse again?
Yeah.
That's okay, it's okay. We're gonna do it again because what is besar? I mean,
Kiss.
yeah, kiss who? Besar.
Mine.
te.
Kiss you.
Yeah. I want that to be a little bit more literal, okay? So also, just because you say chiquilla quisiera ser and there's a rest, how about chiquilla quisiera ser? How about it's connected, even though there's a rest there, not literally, still breathe, but I think this phrase is going to fuel the inspiration. That's, you get to a fermata, right? You get to a point where you can't control yourself until you actually say, besarte, like you weren't allowed to say it out loud,
Yeah.
right?
Give
Yeah.
the breath, give the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Give the rest a meaning.
Yeah.
Like why you're about to give the rest, not like, okay, this is the place where I push the reset button. Give it a meaning.
Yeah.
Because it's there not to give it a break, it's there to change your thoughts.
Yeah.
Or second guesses.
Yeah. Right. Good. I really liked the imagery you gave me on casa because I felt you imagining what it would be like to be there. Okay, keep going with that. And you can even do more with quisiera ser because anytime you say quiero, I want something, quisiera, or anytime you say something that you desire, that is an opportunity, especially in this repertoire, because you don't get to it until besar. Then you get to go, okay, you're gonna explode with that, especially if you're only doing it one time. I think you can go, right?
Yeah.
Para, you try to control yourself, para, but it's written para, right? Para, I can't control myself anymore, right? Allow that to happen. We'll tell you if it's too much, it's probably not. Gonna be,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Can we try second verse and all of that with the rest, the line, really specific images, yeah? Beautiful. That's where I want the kiss to go.
Okay.
It's very specific, right? Of all the
Yeah.
places of beso could land, right there, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to apologize for consonants,
Okay.
okay? They're beautiful part of the legato, and really important part of the storytelling. And a super exciting part of this particular poem, right? Imagery, 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 imagery. No, I want to kiss you on the mouth right now, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty hot stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we do that one more time? Without apologizing.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Like whoever you're speaking to, whoever you're thinking of, they don't get it, give it to them.
Okay.
This is because this is what I want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
This one. Right here. Deliver it that way. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the more risks you take with the words, the better it is, right?
Yeah.
All of these ideas of legato, giving meaning to the rests, accumulating. And if you only do it once, that's fine. But you have all of these moments to build up that desirable tension.
Yeah.
And they need to come out in those consonants there at the end, you know. And I think the we understand what that is at the end.
Yeah.
You're singing it beautifully. And I feel like you'll have a lot of repertoire in your life where you get to float and do pretty things.
Yeah.
And as long as it's always got those millions of layers of emotion under it, it's always going to be beautiful, right?
Yes.
Keep working on the vowel space for the e. I think it's just a matter of closing it just a little bit, but work with your coaches and your voice teachers on that.
Yeah.
For me, I love the specificity of the images. Yeah. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
When you're trying to find the shimmer out there, don't frown. Because
Okay.
that's actually going to keep the voice for going where you're trying to send
Yeah.
it. Just send the air there and relax. Because and you start the pa, and you're doing pa. Can you try to do it again backwards? The pa is what has the full voice.
Okay.
As you move up, I want you to try to feel like you're not even supporting.
Okay.
Pa, let it go. Don't put your foot on the gas pedal. See what happens. Don't, if it cracks, it cracks.
Okay.
But I don't want you to overdo that. It's a color thing.
Yeah.
Don't think piano. Think freedom.
Okay.
Let it go there. It's gonna go. As long as you know the note, send the air up there, but don't go up there with it.
Okay.
And don't frown.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Okay.
Don't think piano, think freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom. You go para. It's almost there. You're going para, and you just let everything go.
Let it go in your
Just
body, yeah.
shift the focus. It's
Yeah.
not on the high note. It's
Okay.
almost like you're totally disconnecting. See what happens.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go not a phrase before that. Well, I don't know what it is. That. You're rushing that.
Okay.
Am I right?
Mhm.
Something is wrong. Yeah.
Mhm.
See, that's right.
Mhm.
That's right. We need that syllable.
Yeah.
Invest.
Okay.
Oh, yay! You got the words right. Go on. Same idea. Breathe for it. Don't go up there with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something to
That
play
was
with.
easier.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of information. Sometimes we musicians and general singers, pianists, sometimes we like focus so much on something where our worst enemies.
Yeah.
Set it free. Once we work it out technically, just listen, feel it. Don't focus on it, because the more you try, the more you get on the weight of what it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And don't think of something as like, I'm gonna put it, no, allow it. Think freedom is everything, especially for singers. You guys need to be free. Tenors spend the rest of their life thinking about their high notes. But freedom is what's gonna set them free. Just think about what it is. It's hard. It's hard. It's not easy. It's easier said than done. But the more you try and you practice how to do that, the more when you are on stage, all of that, it's gonna allow you to be what you want to be, what you want to do. The more we focus on one is obstacles. I see it's nothing. When you try to do something, release this, because it's just going to open up to a whole new world.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Thank
Really
you.
beautiful work.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
great.
Chelsea, beautiful, beautiful. We're lucky to have Chelsea singing later this week too, so.
What are you singing later?
Nice.
Nice.
And so next up, I'm so sorry that I forgot to mention that we have another pianist, and this time we give Eric a break with Aleksander, correct?
Yeah.
We'll be playing from Morena, so that's Morena. So, absolutely, yeah.
Beautiful.
So thank you, Aleksander. Morena, where are you from?
Argentina.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
Okay.
How are you?
Oh, bien.
Yeah.
Bien, muy bien. Excited.
Yes.
Oh, so my name is Morena Galan, and I will be performing El Clavel del Aire Blanco by Guastavino. It's part of a cycle called Las Flores, the Flowers. And I hope you like it. Flor, o del perfume
We're very excited to have a duo, and we're both slightly obsessed with this song. I'm just gonna throw that out
When
there.
we heard it, we was like, why haven't done this?
Oh,
It's just
it's
like
easy.
the whole cycle. We're on the, I'm
We
in
were-
Amsterdam,
you
and
were
I
in
was just like,
Amsterdam, yeah.
I
I was
was just
flying in.
texting her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let her, you sing this really beautifully. I think so. I'm gonna give you this is the hardest part, I think, when it comes to partnership.
Mhm.
That is the hardest to explain. So the beginning, do you mind if I sit there for a second?
Oh, no.
The beginning of this, but think of it like you're playing a thriller show, that you have to be sort of like, you know, that
Mhm.
really that
Yeah.
a lot of flexibility with it.
Mhm.
And for me, instead of thinking of the chords that are going down, thinking they're going up.
Yeah, different voicing and you're pushing for phrases.
And right, and just go with her. I think she is the one has a viola.
Great.
Yeah, so it's just allowing her to go as opposed to here is the tempo and work it all the way. You have to become a singer.
Okay.
If you were playing something, I don't know, a wind instrument, and
Yeah, I think
they're
I
just
tend to drag more than
don't.
I'm like so into it that I'm like.
But see, I did something within you went for it. At first, I felt, now that I was playing it, I felt the resistance. And after the second phrase, you're like, okay, I'm going. That's what you need to do. It's very important for, that's what this is called, a collaboration. It's not, he is not being an orchestra right now, like when you sing an opera, and then there's some rules in there. We cannot just go with the singer and allow the 60-piece orchestra fall apart. There's some structure there that we must maintain in order for the thing to go. This is completely different. You have to take the control, and we're just react. For me, I love when singers tell me what to do, not verbally, but I love when they start singing and they force me to do something or to react to something. It makes my job a lot easier. When I feel that I have to play and also conduct the singer, it's very difficult for us. It just makes us work so hard, and what we're supposed to be doing, it just doesn't happen because I'm doing the work for two people and it's hard. But when you take the lead and just, oh no, I'm doing this, it's just it's magic. It's really, really wonderful.
Yeah, perfect.
Do that.
Of course.
He's gonna be there for you. But the magic has to happen. Like when you do something, he reacts to it. And then all of a sudden he's playing an interlude and you're like, oh. And if you're listening, you will go with it. You're not going to start on a different planet. So this collaboration that's what it needs to get a little tighter.
Perfect.
Okay.
Awesome.
But
thank you.
good.
Should I go from the top?
Sure. And then I'll let my it's really beautiful. Really beautiful.
Yeah, let's start it.
suspiro detenido, en el aire se hace flor con el perfume más fino, que en el aire se hace flor con el perfume más fino.
Okay, beautiful. I'm gonna stop you so we
Yeah.
can be really, really specific and get into some fun things.
Mhm.
What's hard about this, if anything, what's hard about this song for you?
I think there's a breathing thing going on at the end of Fino because I try to connect everything, and by the end of Fino, I'm like,
It gets
So,
really thin.
yeah.
By all means, Fino means,
Yeah.
it gets really Fino.
Very
Yeah,
literal.
very literal.
Very literal, yes.
Yeah.
So I guess it's finding either a place where I can catch a break or balancing it out so I don't like waste all of the air at the
That you
beginning
don't
and then
spend
it
it
ran out.
all.
So
Right.
mhm.
And then what interpretively is challenging about it for you?
So I guess I'm doing kind of the same dynamic in the like when I go high, I'm like, but maybe I should try to do a bit more of change throughout that part where it's going up.
Okay.
Because I know there's a pianissimo, but I kind of not do it. So maybe I should do it.
Well, you did it. I thought you did it really nicely.
Thank you.
I think there are a lot of colors in that section. That section I think is a little bit more tangible for us. Like, okay, we have
Yeah.
leaps and jumps in it. What I want to talk about is the way that you begin it.
Yeah.
How do you start telling this story? It's tempting, I think, especially with Guastavino, to be very 100%
Yeah.
right at the start.
Mhm.
And this is, yes, part of a larger cycle. And if you're doing the whole cycle, you might be able to reevaluate this. But for the moment, let's
Yeah.
take this little gem by itself, right? I'm sure that you, or maybe you don't, I don't know. What can you offer about Guastavino and style and just observations about what this song is doing for Argentine music or anything that you would like to kind of bring to the table, because I don't want to make an assumption.
Oh,
You
know,
know or you don't know, so.
So this compared to some other of the songs in the cycle, I brought another one just in case.
Oh, great.
Like the other one is more tango-y, but this is more classical, and it's just I don't know if there's anything specifically that I can like feel that's Argentinian.
Yeah.
But if there's something that you feel that could be specific, I'm more than glad to listen to.
Sure, of course. So you know he has sort of trends that he follows in his
Yeah.
song composition, right? And so we have the folk popular style, and we
Yeah.
have that, right? So if we could be very cliff notes with Guastavino, we'll say he's taking elements of Argentinian folk and popular, and he's infusing them with classical. This song, you're correct, has few examples of
I
that,
think
right?
the most Argentinian thing about this song is maybe like the type of flower, because it's inspired in like Argentinian
Right.
flowers, and then he has another cycle about like Argentinian birds. So
Right.
he has like this kind of
Right.
yeah.
Mhm.
And something about Argentinian pronunciation, like we pronounce things a bit different.
Exactly.
But in terms of the style, I think this is one of the more neutral ones that could be more like worldwide classical.
Good. Let's start with that.
Mhm.
For me, I would love a little bit more. I want to use the word tension, but I don't mean it in a negative sense in the beginning.
Okay.
That's
Right?
a good word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There is tension in singing. It has to be in
Yeah.
the right places.
exactly.
But the words, the phrase it needs.
Right.
Do you know Forge's song Lydia?
Uh-huh.
This is like the Spanish version of that. It's this the tension that
Yeah.
she's thinking. You need to hang on to these words. Focus, to me, in my opinion, I'm sorry, I jumped it, but focus a lot on what's happening in between the notes and then on the actual notes. You can do el clavel del aire blanco, but el clavel del aire blanco. I'm filling in the blanks.
Perfect.
Focus on what's happening in between the notes to create that.
Yeah.
That tension.
You have a rubber band. If you let go of one end,
Mhm.
so that's what happened. If you let go of one of those syllables, it becomes nothing. Keep that.
Perfect.
So focus on what's happening between the notes and see what happens. I'm trying to see what.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't throw it away.
Okay.
Really squeeze every ounce of anything that you can do. Put that consonant, just do something. Those two, that's it. That's it. It sounds like a completely different song. But don't you don't want to let go. It feels so good. You don't want to let go.
Yeah.
I agree,
Perfect.
and also you can use that consonant to help you there a little bit more, yeah?
Mhm.
I loved that. Can we do that one more time?
Thank you.
Okay, good. Can we fixate on the hardest
Yeah.
phrase? Okay, great, wonderful. I love that. Looking for it. I really love that because you gave a simplicity to the line. Also, it was Morena Galan.
Mhm.
But through simplicity and through creating that really beautiful tension where I wanted to know what was next, you know?
Yeah.
I
I feel like I was trying to negotiate like pianissimo or going all out in the second one where
Uh-huh.
repeat,
Yeah.
and I kind of.
Do you remember what we told Chelsea? Don't
Yeah.
let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. Don't put your foot on the gas pedal.
Yeah.
Once you set it, that's what those pickup notes, these nuances that we all talk about all the time. That's what's gonna set you up. If you go, that's too late.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah.
You know where you're going.
Mhm.
Send it up there with absolutely no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a hard note, that D.
Yeah.
Your body knows what to do,
Mhm.
right? I remember one day I magically discovered that my body knows what to do. And I was like, it was like 4 decades into my career. And I was like, oh, the practicing works.
Never too
Okay,
late.
that's right.
As long as it comes.
Something so silly is just like, oh yeah, I do know what to do,
Mhm.
right? Because that meant that I didn't have to send it anywhere.
Yeah.
I was
just
like,
goes.
yeah.
Mhm.
So yes, I agree. Ground the low ones and then let it go that way. So when you go, I think we get stuck on mas fi.
Mhm.
I think that's where the air is getting trapped,
Yeah.
right? I'm just gonna put on my voice trap for just a second. What's your favorite air saving vowel?
Would say maybe E.
Great. Look at that. You got one in there.
Mhm.
Can you approach that phrase like just reprogram like, oh, this is all an E vowel. And let's try doing it that way
Perfect.
without changing anything that you're actually doing technically, but just tell yourself,
Mhm.
I'm good, right? Because I think you're like me, and you'll get there, but then you're like, oh, I have that open valve, and I want to be delicate with it, and I don't want to sing it really hard, right?
Yeah.
For me, that translates into keeping it on the same trajectory and a lot of mind games, so that I don't actually just go, right?
Perfect.
And there are a lot of technical things that you can do there too, but try this one Jedi mind trick and see if it actually works. Can you do from Aire the first time?
The first one.
Yeah.
The first one.
On the bottom of the first page.
Okay, so
What's
also,
with the O? The O then.
yeah, also, let go of the N a little bit,
Okay,
okay, because I think it's getting a little stuck with
I
that,
see.
okay? Also, flor, how do you want to say that word poetically?
Flor.
Mhm.
Like what's the meaning behind that?
What color do you want there?
Oh, I think I'm doing it a bit dark,
Mhm.
but I think it should be a bit more, like it should be brighter.
What happens if you think about the delicacy of the flor? right
Yeah.
there, Right?
Mhm.
Because what I'm hearing is flor,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's setting you up for a little bit of needing to recover. So what if flor is your dress rehearsal for Fino?
Perfect. Yeah,
Right?
I see.
Okay, try that.
Yeah,
Great.
I
Okay,
was a bit too much there.
that's okay, that's okay. A lot happened that was great.
Mhm.
And a lot of things that you did that made that easier for yourself. Sometimes when I'm struggling with a phrase, I realize it's really the phrase before.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So lightening up a little bit, considering your flower in a different way, right?
Mhm.
Just trying a different color, specifically with the release, that set you up. And I didn't feel like there were two phrases that time. I felt like it was one phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a little more gentle. There was something that you wanted to say about.
Oh, are you saying Kenel? What is that word?
Aire.
Can you focus on that?
Yeah.
Really, it's just like a breeze just
Mhm.
going by. I think you are singing it, but you're not really putting a meaning behind
Mhm.
that. It sounds very vocal to me.
Uh-huh.
En el aire, en el aire. Sing it like you mean it. Sing it like what the word really means.
Yeah.
You try one more time.
The
The,
second one or
well, whichever. It's really beautiful what you're doing. I just hear that and all of a sudden I hear vocal.
Yeah.
I hear singing. I
Yeah, yeah.
can hear it's the singer, but I don't hear what you're actually saying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
En el-
Mhm. Yeah.
It sounds like
First or second time?
either one. You pick.
First time.
Okay.
if you're gonna take that breath, if it happens,
Yeah.
don't rush on it.
Yeah.
Perfume must really mean it. Don't let us know like, oh, she
No.
ran out of breath.
Act it out. I have to
Don't
act it out.
yeah, commit to something. I mean, really, sometimes a lot of times things in performance goes so not accordingly with what but we make the best out of it.
Yeah.
But we really, if you really do it and mean it and with conviction, people will buy it. Nobody gonna say, oh, she ran out of breath. Nobody will think that. But that, it's just with Maya just telling words. If you stop thinking about the meaning behind everything you're saying, everything that it comes out of your instrument, your thoughts, it just becomes sounds. You become, it's very singery, like I call it. It's very singery. It's like, okay, it sounds beautiful, but what happened?
Yeah.
Something got lost.
Yeah.
So stay on that journey of yours. It's like where we going places. You put the GPS on, you make a wrong turn, you get lost. Stay on it no matter what. If something doesn't go accordingly, fix it in the moment and forget about it. Don't, we do that all the time. It's like, why did I play that wrong note here? And then keep going, commit to your
Forgive our transgressions. Forgive ourselves.
And then go, because when you have a meaning behind it, the legato is just exquisite. It's really beautiful. But we hear you as an artist. You know, when we get up here, people don't want to know what we're afraid of or what we think, you know, we couldn't sleep the night before, we ate something, oh, my stomach, my voices. They come here to hear a performance. And if you work with what you have in the moment, it's going to be great. How many times have you got on stage and you're like, oh, it's just not as good today as it was last week.
Yeah.
But then the mistake is that you will try to recreate something that happened last week, but you are not physically, vocally, and mentally on that space. What you need to do is to be on the space that you are in the moment and work with that.
Yeah.
Because the more you try to recreate something that happened, your body is not going to go with it. That's what we go into the practice room. We practice to what could happen. I learned from a very wise person. Amateurs practice to get it perfect. Professionals practice so what could go wrong. Think about that. Because it's not a perfect art, but if you go on stage and do the same thing the same way every single time, it's very robotic.
Yeah.
The premises, the basis, all of that is what we practice. We do. We have a plan, but then we need to let the artistry take over. So that's what people get. Okay. Sure. Be in the moment with the rules. The rules for everything. But
Do you wonder why there's nothing written in the score until the second time you say Aire? Then all of a sudden there's crescendos and diminuendos. And there's structure in the score, but there's nothing in the first phrase at all. The first time you go, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's something written there. There's a diminuendo. And then the second time it is specified to crescendo through diminuendo and then crescendo through mas fino. And I think if you look at that and what's given, and then look at the text and you're repeating text, and we know it's different the second time. What's he trying to say? What's happening there? And what colors can you use to justify the dynamics that are written there with your needs as a singer and an interpretive artist? It'll all work out. It makes complete sense to me just hearing it and seeing it.
Yeah.
The other place you're losing air is Code. Just keep that all in that same tension place. I'm gonna call it that.
Yeah.
Right. There's a tendency for us as singers to blow air through. I love lines that go this way, but just be careful that we don't get out of the the anchor
Yeah.
position. And especially coming down in the middle as mezzos, sometimes we do that, those pickup notes, right? So those are all little tools that you can put in your toolbox and examine later with that, to do what you want artistically there. Ay amor, la flor, la niña, all this stuff. You are a beautiful artist, both of you, beautiful artists. So I'm not gonna ask you, what are you trying to say here? Like, I don't know, it's obvious, right? I would love, however, to hear what you think about flowers, niñas, and what does this mean? La flor, la niña, la flor, la niña, la niña, la flor. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
How many things?
Actually, I was thinking about that today because I've known this piece for so many years. I've learned when I was like 15, and I know all of the words, of course, but I never understood like what was it about. So today I thought about it, and there's a lot of like innocence, I guess, to this piece. And I think I was trying to give it a more romantic feel to it, but actually I think it has to do more with like how pure the love is and how pure this girl is, and they're comparing flowers to like little kids or little girls. So I don't necessarily feel like this should be like passionate in terms of like something seductive, but more in like a delicate way of just comparing a flower to a girl.
Yeah. Can we talk specifically about the flower too?
Yeah.
Could you describe so that we all have the same image? What exactly does this flower look like?
So it's a white flower, so it also adds on to this purity idea. And so this flower is used as a symbol of like, I just feel like when somebody gives this type of flower to somebody else, it's in a very like polite manner, like delicate way. It's not in a seductive way. I feel like.
Sure.
So it's just like a white, very beautiful and like.
It's vulnerable, right? It's
Yes.
a very delicate petal. It's
Yeah.
soft, kind of thin, and the leaves are not like, I think of a tulip that's a very sturdy flower, for example. And this is, the edges are not strong. It's delicate, but I don't think it's vulnerable. I mean, I don't think it's, so I think you're absolutely right. And do you have like a child in your life that's important, a sibling or a niece or a nephew or a cousin or your own, or even a cat or dog? Just something that is just so perfect in its youth, someone. And the magic that comes with discovery and new things with a child, right? And the passion, and you're right, it is passion, I think. And you're right, I think it's not seduction per se, but passion.
A lot of things in many different ways.
Oh, trust, my niece is passionate. So I love everything that you're doing. Just want to be careful with making the too decided. Yeah, right. You don't need to be literal. Make it vulnerable and delicate every time, I think. But just also the color of the ovale, you can change a little bit.
Perfect.
Colors. Sometimes you can put more ooh in it. Sometimes you can open it up a little bit, right? Because I would say we have like levels. We have like diction and what's correct. And then what's correct to us if we're dealing with dialect or accent or whatever. And then we have poetry. And that's where we sometimes do risky things, right? And then especially the benefit you have of being a native speaker, and specifically, Argentina, play with it. Because you know how far you can go. But don't be afraid to do something that's not straight out of it, technique, textbook, or whatever, And I always say, I love actually as a voice teacher, when my students do something that's like, that surprises me or that is unexpected or where I'm like, all right, you know, we would never make that sound in a vocalese. I love it, you know, because you could do that a couple times in a recital.
Yes.
No one dies. It's a beautiful thing, truly.
Yeah.
So think about all of those things, because with that simplicity and sort of tying into that simple of that page, you have somewhere to go with it,
Yes.
you know.
Mhm.
Now, my first in our furious texting about this song, I said to Jose, this is like such an us song. There's nothing on the page, block chords. We have to do all the work. And it actually reminds me of the very first song we ever did. It really reminds me of Non t'amo più. Actually, Non t'amo più, which is just block chords, right? That was the very first thing we ever did together.
Magic happened with how you deliver this.
Yeah.
words.
We'd never worked together.
Mhm.
Never worked together.
We have a funny story. We did another Guastavino song
Oh,
at a program.
don't tell me se equivocó la palabra.
No, it was
No.
La Balada.
Mhm.
Oh.
And it's a manuscript. It is like Dalton just gave it to us
Ah.
and so the very first time, this is how we met. The first time we were supposed to do it in a class. And I was doing a dress rehearsal for something else in a different building. So when I get to the class, Dalton has already asked her to sing the song. There was another pianist there. It was 9:30 p.m. and I just running back and she's like, just sing it. So at the end of the class, I didn't say anything. Dalton is like, can you come here and play? Let's do this again. So we did the song and he used to sit next to the pianist and go like this. And he doesn't move. So you don't know if he's hating it, he's liking it, he is thinking about going to Target. It's like, I don't know. So at the end, he opened his eyes and he says, oh, now it makes sense. They did it beautifully before, but there's a communication here,
Mhm.
a reaction, a collaboration. He's not accompanying you.
Oh, no.
He's collaborating with you. That's the one thing that he felt like this. It's personal. How many times have you got a rehearsal with your pianist and you're like, first rehearsal, and all of a sudden things happen and you're like, oh, we could just go and do this right now. There's a lot of things that sometimes their unspoken things, it creates that magic,
Mhm.
that thing. And this is one of those songs. It's like, there's really not much to it, but what you do with it, how you treat these words, how you build these phrases, how you just pick words here and there and do something really magical with them, bring new nuances on the second verse, same notes, sometimes same words. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Always have 12 different ways of delivering a phrase. You never know what type of a day you're having, so at least you have choices.
Yeah.
Because every day is different. That's, I guess, the curse for you guys singers. Your instrument, it's in your body. For us, it's showing up to a place and not knowing what kind of instrument we're gonna play. And then we have to throw away the window everything we worked on because we have to rework it all over again. You carry your instrument, but no matter what you do on what any given day, it's gonna affect it, good or bad.
Mhm.
So you have to have choices. You have to practice not to go through your pieces. You have to practice for what could happen and have 17 different ways of delivering that one phrase. So you have, that's building your toolbox. That's I always say to singers, you have to become your own teacher because you're not gonna have her holding your hand everywhere you go. Some teachers do that, but you have to become your own teacher and always go with the way he feels, not with the way it sounds. You know?
Yeah.
But you're such a beautiful artist. Can we do the second verse?
Yes,
How much time we
yeah.
have left?
We're kind of hitting it.
Okay,
there.
let's
Yeah.
let's finish the song. Let's do the second verse.
Yeah.
From the second.
When you go del cabello del aire blanco after his interlude,
Yeah.
I think you were on. I don't know if it's the second
Yeah,
page.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay,
Anywhere, Alexander.
sure. I'll give you the
That sounds very metronomic to me.
Yeah.
Del clavel del aire blanco. Do something.
Yeah, I felt it as soon as I said
Yeah. It's hard. Alexander, give it at least 2 bars or something so she can get
Right.
into it.
Sure. Yeah. I'll play that.
Perfect. Come with this. Breathe, go. Do you see those chords that he has going up?
Mhm.
That's where the collaboration happened. He
Yeah.
goes prom, and you go del clave.
Mhm.
Use those chords. Can you do the same thing again? Another way.
It was like I wanted to. That's why I kind of. I think but it was like weird because
No,
I
it's
wanted
fine.
to push more.
I'm glad it did
but
happen
I
because
pulled back last minute.
yeah, no, I like glad it happens because you're not really you're taking risks. It's like Maya just saying like take risks because and those moments is when you're gonna find out, oh, I didn't know I could do that.
Mhm.
Oh, I like that. But you're not really thinking about doing that. You're just setting yourself free. And that's how you discover when you're capable, your instrument is capable to that. I didn't know I could do that and all of those things. But what I was trying to get you to do is to not fall into what Alexander is doing.
Mhm.
Because sometimes you fall into this and you are the one who does this.
Yeah.
You see a duck and then underneath is like this, but you don't see that, you see this. You're just gliding.
Yeah.
He's the duck. You are the one gliding above it.
Yeah.
You had to create that.
Mhm.
Beautiful,
Yes.
really beautiful. Really
I
beautiful.
love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What are you singing later this week for us, Morena?
I'm gonna be singing tomorrow. Alfonsina y el mar,
Ooh.
Nice.
and on Friday, all the things you are.
We're so happy to have
Your
Alexander,
turn.
you're not playing for the rest of the week. right?
I am playing on Friday.
On Friday, okay. We're excited. All right, well, our final singer
It's my
today.
favorite song.
That's it all.
I used to sing it in the jazz version, but then I was like, there is the original is actually like. that's
You do it in
also-
F minor? Yeah.
Yeah, and the original.
Sing it very fast.
So pretty.
Charlie?
Hi.
Oh, this one's about. You want mine?
Oh, sure, if you don't mind. Sorry.
No, not at all.
Should test it. Thank you.
You want me to take it? Are you sure?
The warmth of Charlie's tongue.
Hopefully,
And Charlie, you can just announce your song and when you're ready.
Okay. Well, this is fun. Sorry.
What kind of iPad do you have?
Every music is
Every
There's a bunch in the back, but that one doesn't work.
Sorry.
Maybe you should sing Steady Down.
Every stand in the school is like.
Exactly.
Oh, every stand at the school is like this.
I think they made a deal with a bad company.
Oh.
They
Free
want the
music
shy
stands.
ones.
Free music
They're
stands.
orchestra music stands.
Okay.
Is that
So
better?
we got a good
Yes, I
one.
think so.
All right.
Ready? Hello, my name is Charles Mukaida, and today I will be singing Bella Enamorada. Bella enamorada, continua nel cielo, y un amor virtuoso busco para mí. Bella enamorada, eres mi consuelo, yo sin tu cariño, no podré vivir. Noche de amor, noche misteriosa, ven hacia mí, sorpréndame. Suave placer de lo que soñamos. Quiero vivir por volver a ver y gusto perdida I don't know why I let my nerves take over me, but I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do,
Mhm.
especially this type of arias.
Mhm.
One with somebody perhaps you don't know, somebody you haven't met with, or there's a lot to it. The second verse was a lot better. I think you found your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I did it. Let me go for it. And that's what I felt. You just went for it.
Mhm.
What are your challenges in this piece? What are your obstacles?
The tessitura, and then because I've studied in Colorado for 2 years,
Mhm.
having a lot more oxygen than air is making it a little difficult for me not to push. So I've been trying to fight that and really lighten up a little bit.
Mhm. I'd actually thought that it fits you well.
Mhm.
I think that when we dig into it and start using these words a lot more, it's gonna free yourself a lot. Because right now you're thinking vocally. You're
Mhm.
thinking about getting through the note. There's a high note coming. I can hear there is a G sharp coming, and you go, and then let's go for it. No, you have to build it up on using the text. That's just gonna free you up because everything becomes a vowel.
Yeah.
And where are you gonna anchor yourself with, and that's what I feel that it's missing a little bit. Before Maya does her thing, let's just fix some of this phrases and how we build them. Okay, because there's a lot of push and pulling in here. So you're not gonna go bella enamora. You go bella enamorada. Tira 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 pa pa pi pa pa. It's not one of those things. When Eric started, pa 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 pi pa 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 pi pa 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 pa. Tira 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 tira. Bella enamorada. That tira that's the Spanish thing. And don't brush through it. Don't rush through them. Really dig in. But see how I'm going to bella enamo, all of that. I need to hear all those words. Maybe Eric, maybe with that. Tira tira. Bella, say that word. Bella enamora. Let me hear every single vowel. Bella enamorada. 4 notes. Bella enamora. Don't leave anything out. Bella enamorada. Con tu imagen suelo y un amor dichoso. Busco para mí. See, already better. Are you thinking about your high notes now?
No.
You're right. How can you see that? I'm old. I'm 120. Bella enamorada con tu imagen. And shake it. Become Bartoli. I don't care. But just shake those triplets. Bella enamorada. I need energy on those triplets.
Okay.
Con tu imagen. So.
One little thing to add to the triplet. The stress goes on the first one.
Okay.
Anchor into the first one, and you'll be able to do what he's asking.
Sueño.
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 And leave it. Eric, when you get to the lean on the second beat with the appoggiatura and feel that.
Okay.
You need that. Same place. Beginning. All the notes, Charlie.
Con tu imagen sueño y un amor dichoso busco para mí.
You're trying to separate them. Bella enamo, 4 notes, 4 syllables.
Quiero speak consuelo.
What? ¿Quieres mi what?
¿Quieres mi consuelo?
Consuelo. ¿Quieres mi consuelo? ¿Quieres mi consuelo? All the words.
Okay.
Bella enamorada. I know it's hard, but I know Charlie for a very long time. That's why I'm just like. Bella, you're doing great. Go.
Bella enamorada, eres mi consuelo, y sin tu cariño, no podré vivir.
Relax.
Noche de amor, noche misteriosa.
Bring it over.
Ven hacia mí.
Ven hacia mí. No H's.
Okay.
Ven hacia mí. Ven hacia mí. Noche de amor. Chum, chum, chum.
Noche de amor.
Put an accent up there. It already has an accent because of the way it is. Noche de amor. Noche de amor. Find the space.
Okay.
Noche de amor, noche misteriosa. Ven hacia mí. So, ven hacia. Don't aim for it.
Okay.
It already we're gonna come with an accent because of the way it's written,
Mhm.
but don't add to it.
Okay.
Noche de amor.
Noche de amor, noche misteriosa.
Space.
Ven hacia mí, suave mujer. Suave placer, de lo que soñamos. Quiero vivir por volver la ver, ilusión perdida, quiero recordar mi amor lejano, él no volverá. Dama misteriosa, que en las sombras vives, dime a quién eres y sabrás mi amor. Vea entre las vidas, dime enamorada. Tú eres mi tormento, yo tu beso. Noche de amor.
Noche de amor. Noche de amor. You remember that moment in Così fan tutte? Oh, che bella giornata. Just like see the stars and just go to Central Park and just look up and noche de amor, noche de. Don't rush it. Don't insist. I know. Open up.
Noche de amor.
Noche de amor. You want to get out of that note as quick as you can. And we feel it. And I'm encouraging you to actually embrace it.
Okay.
Noche de amor. I'm gonna get out of the knot as soon as I can. No, embrace it. If you actually sing it like you're gonna put a little tenuto on it. Noche de amor. No, don't be afraid. If it cracks, it cracks. But you won't know until you try.
Noche de amor, noche misteriosa.
Mean it.
Ven hacia mí.
Same thing here. What are you saying, ven hacia mí? Come to me. Come to me. That's what you're saying.
Okay.
Noche de amor. A lovely night. Noche misteriosa. A mystery night, right? Come to me, ven hacia mi sueño de mujer, my dream woman. Sombra. Oh, well, my shadow.
Shadow woman.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm making words up, but I'm just what it means is just like really dig in. Unless she is ugly and you don't want her to come to you.
Maybe that's why she's in the shadow.
Maybe because she's in the shadow. Noche de amor. Come on. You can do better than that. Noche de Oh, don't feel like you have to stick with this tempo. Don't worry about Eric.
Okay.
He's fine. Don't be 2 and 3 and 1. Noche de amor, noche misteriosa, ven hacia mi sombra de mujer. Easy, easy. Put the notes and all of those high notes.
Okay.
But here, not here.
Okay. Noche de amor, noche misteriosa.
Same here.
Ven hacia mí, sombra de mujer.
Breathe and go. Don't think about it.
Suave placer, tengo que soñarlos. Quiero vivir polvo de la ver.
Every note. Whatever that is. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. How's it go?
Good. I think I'm starting to stack breath and stuff too. So.
The most important thing here is know how you build in these phrases, because not knowing is what's going to compromise your breath. Not knowing where you go, you're going to start like catching up and stuck in air, and the more you do that, the tighter you're going to get, and you don't want that. You need to know exactly what it is that you're going. So that will be step 1, knowing how you're building, how you're going to build these phrases, so you know where to go. Okay, it's much you sound a little bit more relaxed now, because being aware of how much space do you have to sing these phrases. The one thing that you shouldn't do with this type of arias is to rush it, because sooner or later you'll suffer the consequences, not only with vocally but with words. We don't want to trip on all of them. Then beautiful in your voice. So let's keep digging.
Yeah. So you say a lot of the same things many times, right?
Yeah.
What's your take? What's this about?
I think he's excited by the prospect of this hidden love, even though it is kind of sort of like a threat that he got in the note. But I think that adds to the excitement of this unknown love and not knowing what's going on and whatnot.
Sure, good. I think in general, a couple of things, right? You got the note about the H, right?
Yeah.
When you have an S between vowels, be careful of making it Italian.
Okay.
Dichoso, and make sure that when you have an N, that it really is an N. Right?
Okay.
I think you corrected that, where we had a sueno instead of a sueño, I think at first. Also, note where you have future tense, que no volverá, and note where just make sure you're aware of what tenses you have, so that in your storytelling, you know how to stack the colors, right?
Okay.
And the other thing is, in talking about building the phrases, every time you have this no, can you triple the O of no?
Okay.
Because I think sometimes you tend to anticipate those, and we all do, but anticipate those ba 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 things a little bit. So it's almost the same as what we're saying to the other two singers. Ground yourself in that initial part of the phrase that you feel isn't the challenging part, and allow yourself to release into that, and then you'll be able to spin through just fine. I think that's my theory. Can we try it out? Right in the beginning, use the consonant phrasing, combining what he said with some really specific choices with the words, with the text. Anywhere in there is fine. Just what's your first phrase? Can you just speak it for me?
Bella enamorada.
What are the words in there?
A beautiful lover.
Yeah, I mean, separate the mountains, man.
Oh, bella enamorada.
Bella.
Bella.
Bella enamorada.
Bella enamorada.
Bella enamorada, no.
Bella enamorada.
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 What does that mean? Enamorada.
Lover.
In love,
In love.
right?
Okay.
Beloved. Right? So to taste the flavors of that will help you break out of this. This is new and I don't know it so well, right?
Sure.
Okay, so focus on those two words which have intrinsic meaning for you, right? Sing the words there. Okay, sing the words and sing the colors. That's simple. Let's do that again.
Sueño.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can sound, but you should dream.
So, you know this, for some reason, con tu imagen sueño is going a little bit more fluid than bella enamorada, I think, because you're just getting stuck on it, right? So I think let go of the end of enamorada, get to the vowel, get to the colors. Yeah.
Okay.
And you know my rhetoric, right? Consonants matter, they're super important. Just be careful you don't get stuck on them. You gotta get to that triplet, that's where you're going. Right?
That's it, tongue in the air is tripping you. It's one note, two vowels. You're trying to separate them. And then you add in a note. And it sounds weird. Go straight to the A vowel of enamorada. Okay? See, I'm changing the vowel before I change the note.
Okay. Okay.
It's tricky, but that's something that you can do on your own. Just be aware.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it one more time.
Bartoli. Move, shake your head. I don't care. Your shoulders or something. You know, she has a gesture for every note she sings. Right. Do the same thing. I want to hear them. Ella enamorada.
consuelo y un amor chistoso busco para mí. Me enamorada, que eres mi consuelo, ya sin tu cariño, no podré vivir. Noche de amor, noche misteriosa, ven hacia mí, sombra de mujer. Suave placer, ven lo que soñamos. Quiero vivir por volver a ver, ilusión perdida, quiero recordar que un amor lejano, quiero volver.
So I think every time you have eighth note, eighth note, eighth note in Spanish music, follow the text.
Okay.
We don't want it to sound pa, 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 pa. We don't want it to be not what's on the page. However, attenzione. We do need a little bit of shape, a little bit of give and take, right? It's not a general rule, but it's a general rule. Usually the text is going to follow that, right? Quiero recordar un amor lejano. It's going to follow the text, right? Give longer vowels in there, shape these phrases. It doesn't need to be ba, 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 ba. It shouldn't be, right?
Yeah.
So that's just something to, as you get more comfortable with it, to work with and to know that beep, 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 beep does not have to be that way. You have a little bit of liberty, right? Stay with what's on the page. However, shape it with the text. Okay. And allow yourself to say the words. When you sing quiero vivir, what are you saying? What does that mean? Quiero vivir.
I want to live.
Yeah. So say it like you mean it there. That's going to help you vocally, technically, artistically, everything. But sing the actual words with intention, there. That's going to help you. It's actually well written regarding the text, I think. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think you have to put in the retardantes. You have to look at all of those things, the odd tempos, all of those things. All of those things are part of the drama and part of the text. So as you become more familiar with this, really figure out why that's there, right? You are so great with character, with story, with intention. You're wonderful on stage. Put all of that together, use that here, because you have so many clues in this score that are just going to support your instincts. Your instincts are so good. Go back to the score, right? And just like justify that, because it's going to help you technically too. Because it is hard. I mean, it hangs out up there, right?
Yeah.
And having altitude traveled myself, it's hard. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like they switched out your oxygen tanks for a lesser or greater one. Right? But from my experience with altitude, you just have to you have to assess and know that it's not in your mind. It really is a physical difference. And if you don't have time to acclimate, which it takes like 3 weeks, that's okay. Just know what you do know. If you're using too much air or not enough, just readjust the valve. Yeah, because the instrument's not gonna feel the same.
Yeah.
And Colorado's tricky. Right? It's tricky, but just know it's not in your head. It's a physical thing that's happening. Right? And it's okay. So all that to say, this needs to just be all of your instinct as like a leading man need to come into play in the score.
Okay.
And it's all correct. Okay, if it becomes too much, we'll tell you, but it's not going to be. All of these triplets distinguish between the 8-note triplets, the 16th-note triplets. Lean into the first one, anchor all of them, let it go through the phrase. But like he said, make sure we hear them all. They're the best part.
Yeah, I think, look, with this music in general, because you're doing really, really great. And Eric, are you sure you don't have any Spanish blood? But with this music, it's like learning a new language. You know, you can do all the things, know all the grammar and rules and everything, but sometimes when you go to that country is when it actually sticks, because you have to live with it. You have to have it around you 24/7. It's 24/7. With this music, it takes a lot of listening for you to understand. So just listen to it. It's a very specific genre of music that it's like we were saying, it's a map, but once you follow it, you have to really live with it for a long time for it to really sink in, for you to feel every nuance, every piece of this culture, language, style, music, sounds, all of it. So listen to it a lot, because it's like learning a new language. You have to really immerse yourself into it and live with it for a very long time until it becomes an organic thing. And then it happens, because it happens to all of us. You know, this is one of those things. It's so specific in terms of everything, in terms of words, in terms of your phrasing, in terms of your shape, in terms of your words, sounds, colors, all of it. There's so much to it that sometimes you have to take it one bit at a time, but you really have to dig in and sort of get into it, but live with it for a while. I think it's something that you can do very well. You're doing very well. It's a brand new piece. Listen a lot more of it. Like listen to the specific, zarzuelas. Listen to them. Listen how this music is different than just singing the Cabello más Sutil or singing La Flor. It's still Spanish, but it's a completely different culture. A complete different culture. It's just, there is the way that you deliver this music. Yeah, there has these common things, but it has its own world and its own thing. So live with it for long, because it'll come. It's like everything, it has to mature, it has to sink in, it has to, all of those things.
Okay, good. What did you say? How much time?
I was thinking, she probably got none of what I just said.
But the gestures were great.
I was like, I realize now that didn't convey much. We're coming close to the end.
Okay. I just would love, and you know what, you picked the section. I just want to do one more section, and I want you to just instinctually give me Charlie in there, and everything, Charles Mukaida tenor, everything that you are as an artist, with all of the textbook things aside. I just want to hear, like, what would you, just somewhere at the end, do your thing that you do. And let's see if it's over the top. I don't think it's
okay. Should I just go from the last note de amor?
perfect.
Noche de amor, noche misteriosa, ven hacia mí, sombra de mujer. Suave placer, vedo que soñamos. Quiero vivir por volverla a ver, ilusión perdida, quiero recordar de un amor lejano Sorry.
Que una moleja. What's the word before that?
Ya no volverá.
No, before that.
De
Oh,
una
that.
moleja.
De una moleja. That's your keyword.
Yeah.
No, de una moleja. No.
Yeah.
I know you were about the high note.
Yeah.
Don't. Que un amor, whatever that phrase, the notes are. Que una moleja. Oh, see, you're not singing that. You're cheating. Que una moleja. No, because you want to get to that note. No. Que una moleja. And take advantage of that open sound. Oh, you're still cheating.
Okay.
Que un amor. No. Let's see if I can make it. No.
Okay.
Sing it. Really phonate, vibrate, put a pitch in the room, a sound, then move on. See what happens?
Yeah.
Don't take shortcuts. Sometimes the highway is not going to get you there faster. If you take the local road, it might just not be congested and you get there faster. Don't take shortcuts. Because you worry about, see, we are our own enemies.
Yeah.
De una moleja, that vowel, that syllable, that note, that open sound is going to get you there. But the first note is what's going to build the phrase. If you go, moleja.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Okay. De una moleja.
Good job, Eric. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you so much. Right. Before we release, can I get a picture of the singers up there with?
Really quick before we start, does anyone have any questions?
Oh, yes.
for us?
I put a background, because my Spanish is, a little behind the other. But Bella, enamorado, you said that's my beloved.
Oh, Bella is beautiful.
My beloved. So what's the English equivalent?
My beautiful beloved.
Beautiful beloved, yeah.
It's like the word enamored.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a common.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a little bit of a
You
curve.
said something about the
Yeah.
open sound,
Uh-huh.
that you should, it's good to have that open sound because it builds. You talk a little bit about that, I think.
Open sound is a build.
Mr. Jose, I think Jose.
Well, because we're talking about sometimes I don't always tell singers when you have you have an open vowel and an open sound before something really difficult comes. And the tendency is focus on the high note. So what we do is the opposite. They just close because we are saving it and praying that that difficult note is going to come out of nowhere. But we have to prepare the path. So that if you have the una mole, if we close the vowel or not even sing it, where the high note is going to come? The beautiful tone. So freedom. They talk about freedom, especially for tenors. They live in the high notes, but you have to be free in order to the voice to do what it needs to do. And without the freedom, you don't have flexibility. And that flexibility is what's going to allow you to sing loud, forte, pianissimo, do crescendo. If it's like, I always picture it like a cat hanging on the wall, and it just goes like this. There's no flexibility there. You're hanging on. You're hanging on to something that you think is going to get you to the other side. So taking advantage of knowing what is happening. Instead of focusing on the goal, look back. Because when you do those 3-4 measures before that, if not everything is in place, chances are that you're not going to get the results that you're aiming for.
Can I just make a little comment?
Yes.
First of all, I loved all the singers. Incredibly nice to look at as well as to listen to.
But what I love about this class, and I, at this time, Maya, that I attended the Zoom class about a year and a half ago, I think it was, is this nice combination of using details and as well as the permission to be musical and to be musicianly. And that combination of those things is what I see happening as the sort of connective piece between all the singers. That what you both do as a team is bring those things together. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So eloquent.
I wish more people would come.
Thank you.
I'm just kind of annoyed that there was something.
Oh,
I too. So what's your name? I'm sorry.
Ron Capone.
Oh, hi. So I start to know everyone by their names and their emails because I'm, receiving them. So thank you so much, Ron. And that was such a wonderful way to describe what the two of you, the work that you do, and figures the work that you've done today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
And it's not unfortunate, because I waited for this moment, because I had been performing. And Zoom was just about ready to drive me crazy. No, but we were able to reach more people. Some of the people that I invited there, I hadn't seen in years. And they're not going to come from Chicago, from Jersey.
It has its advantages, that's for sure.
We're the Big Apple.
Right.
I know.
Thank you, Ron.
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I also wanted to just take a minute to say that this summer marks our 25th anniversary as a duo. As partners. So we can't think of a better way to celebrate.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, singers.
Yes.
Bravo.
Can we
Bravo,
get a picture
Eric.
with the artist? With our guest artist at Aire?
Sure.
Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome. Thank you guys.
We'll be here this afternoon.